Alright, so this is Bob Marley Beach. You know what I mean? As you can see, it's not a white sand beach, you know. It's a regular beach where, you know what I mean, from enough away a little youth where, you know what I mean, where come and swim and, you know what I mean, wash off and enjoy ourselves, you know. You know what I mean? There was no restriction in coming to this beach. There was no one, you know what I mean, asking for payment, you understand, to access this beach. You know what I mean? This was a free and open beach for years from my youth. You understand? A beautiful beach, but not one of the white sand beaches like you would have said. You know what I mean? That the government has already privatized and closed off only for the tourists. You understand? This is a beach that our people can enjoy. You understand? And most likely the people who live in this community, the community of Beach Road. You understand? In Bull Bay. You understand? 9 Mile Bull Bay. You understand? So this beach, you know what I mean, has been a part of the community. You know what I mean? From ever since the community exists here in Jamaica. So, you know what I mean, this thing about privatization, you know what I mean, come as a big inconvenience and a big shock. You understand? Yeah, man. And because of the name of the beach as well, you know, tourists, whenever them come to Jamaica, you understand, they will visit the beach just because of the name, because we know that Bob Marley, you know what I mean, has rise here in Jamaica as one of the top reggae artists. Of course, Bob Marley is not our people, Zine, but he has made Jamaica famous amongst the oppressors, and they visit the island, you understand, and they come to the island and want to visit Bob Marley Beach. You understand? So now the government talking about privatizing the beach could just be them cutting off the revenue of the poor. You understand? Of course, personally, we don't mix with the heathens, but for the most part, our people can earn an income whenever tourists comes to the island. You understand? So, yeah man, this is Bob Marley Beach. See? It is not as beautiful as some of the white sand beaches, but you know what I mean, it is beautiful because of the people, you know what I mean, the Israelites who, you know what I mean, who are able to enjoy themselves on this beach. You understand? Yeah man, so we're going to see if we can talk to some of the men them who are knowledgeable on the foundation of the beach and see if we can get them feedback as to what is going on, you know what I mean, and what them think about, you know what I mean, the whole situation.
Them have a big plan, you know, where them are land out a big hotel, a 4,000 room, state region.
What's that?
The roof group, but a further around Pan Hill. Because them buy up the whole hill now, over 200 acres. Yeah, well, you have a long stretch of beach, man. Near a mile what I got to a big hill around there now.
Yeah.
But when you check it out, that's no more feasible to them in a way.
Yes.
But you have a long stretch of beach, man. If you walk by the pine, you will see it right.
Yeah.
When them have plan now to build a road from that side to come towards the beach and block off out there, so that means no entrance from that side.
Cut off the community.
Yeah. Yeah, I have some born and grown around Pan the beach.
Yeah.
From my toddler, my day.
Yeah.
All my grandmother grandfather is all up on the beach. Yeah, man. When Chen turned the blaze and them all try to kill Bob, out here and run. The only thing Bob now and build him out up in the scheme is Windsor Light.
Up a scheme, so.
But the other legend now, other from Peter that a Bonnie
used to live
up on the
Yeah. The woman done so tell me.
Yeah.
Great.
Them man and run them son, yeah. You have a bingy name, I said name Bongo Gather, them man that help pave the way.
Yeah.
With savings to them.
Yeah.
About him have 2 brothers now, one of them now, they must pay him off to come to him run the light and things. So him now take out the pipe and when he run and move with the wire, and that's why I see them post the status. But it's all about a sabotage to get in there weary, you know. And now I check it out, it's a food basket flying out, see him. Right. We do a look at fish juggling, you know.
So where your man name? Where your man name again?
Well, I have Zulu, you know. Originally, me a Jackson Thomas, you know. That's one of the Thomas that I run run down here.
Okay, are you the lady that talk about then? Should point me to somebody who say, well, you know what I mean? Would that be the best person to talk to, because really want to control the place. See? Yeah, man. My name Officer Kayad one out of I.S.U.P.K Jamaica. We are the Israelites, them, yeah?
True.
Yeah, man, I can check you, man. I left you with a flyer to say you can pre some of the things, them, because
Yeah,
of them
man.
things that we talk about in the road, boy.
Yeah, man, I love them energy because right now I just positive energy. I know you pray and I pushing.
Shalom, Israel. My name is Officer Kayad one out of I.S.U.P.K Jamaica. I.S.U.P.K started 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. I.S.U.P.K is run by Commanding General Yahanna, the one man with the rank and the authority to lead Israel at this time. I say Yahweh Basham Yahweh Shai Barakatham to my brothers. Yahweh Shamar Ilathan Basham Yahweh Shai to my sisters. All right, so here in Jamaica, the representatives of King Charles, which is the government. You understand? Because that's all they are. The representatives of King Charles. They are not our leaders. You know what I mean? They work for Britain. See, they carry out the will of Britain. Let me just get that clear. See? So these representatives of King Charles, you know what I mean, they are at it again. Last week it was the Bernard Lodge situation where the representatives of King Charles bulldoze, you know what I mean, houses in Bernard Lodge, and under the guise of fighting crime, claiming that gangs were selling private lands, you know what I mean, to residents unbeknownst, you know what I mean, and now they are at it again with trying to steal the land in Bob Marley Beach from the poor people, the residents, you understand, in the guise of, well, not a guise this time, but this time for a so-called development that we, the children of Israel, never benefit from. See, because of some big hotel chain being built, you know what I mean? Now the government want to steal miles of, you know what I mean, public beach land to give to hand over to this private entity. You know what I mean? So we have a tape, and we have an article, and we have a read something. We have to show you the history of land here in Jamaica, and you know what I mean, our relationship with the oppressor here in Jamaica, to show you that, you know what I mean, we had no rights to any land here in Jamaica. They give us no land after slavery. You know what I mean? We are just squatters everywhere that we dwell here in Jamaica. You know what I mean? We have no rights. And you know what I mean? This will always continue unless we come back to our true nationality as the children of Israel and understand what is really going on. See? So like this video, leave your comments, and also share on our social media platforms.
It was a sad situation to know that the government of Jamaica trying to like overtake everything, not even just Bob Marley Beach. I realize that this government that's in power, I'm not political, but this is my view, that I realize that this government that's in power, all they've been trying to do is take away everything that poor people has fought and gained. This place from all the way to the front, there's a fire named Gabby, which is Ras Gabby. These the one that cut out, use them cutlass and axe and cut out Kashamaka and come all the way around here till someone see. These are people that has this beach, named it Bob Marley Beach. In fact, Bob Marley them used to keep bingy right here, so before anybody recognizes it. So now why when we building something, you want to take it? Why don't you want to enhance it and enhance the people? You want to take it and privatize everything like you're privatizing everything everywhere all over the place. I don't know what's wrong with the government, but Bob Marley Beach need to stand for the people that fought for this and build this and been here for years. I mean, people been here for 40 years, 50 years, and so forth. That been fighting for this with all of the problems and all of the things that people throw at them. So I think that they need to stop trying to take away the poor people things. Andrew Olis need to fix his government, man.
Right. You know what I mean? And that brother is right. You know what I mean? Everything that the poor, you know what I mean, try to do is always stolen. Any resource that the poor has ever accumulated here in Jamaica. You know what I mean? When the government so-called find use, some monetary use for it, them steal it, because the people who developed Bob Marley Beach, they have been living on Bob Marley Beach for over 60 years. which I think is the timeline long enough to now be proper owners of the beach. So why are now they being pushed off? Because now them claim it is crown land. And you know what I mean, not to segue too far, coming back to this point, saying whenever they want to find excuse to bulldoze your off lands or to take away lands, them use the excuse of crown land, saying, or crime. You understand? Which all land here in Jamaica belongs to Britain, so it is really crown land, all the land. So what are you saying, that no matter where we live here in Jamaica, we are squatters? So the people in Bob Marley Beach, they are the ones who renovated the beach, chopped down the bush, them make the beach look as how it look presentable. You know what I mean? They have been living there for over 60 years. They are in the position, or you know what I mean, they are in the process, Slakia, of getting the beach or the land surrounding the beach, because we know that beach is public property. See, they are in the process of getting it regularized. But according to what, you know what I mean, the information that I have gotten from residents, saying that every step of the way, you know what I mean, the representatives of King Charles have always put roadblocks in the way and obstruction and obstacles in the way to prevent them from properly, you know what I mean, getting the thing regularized. You understand? And now some big hotel chain is coming to Jamaica and they are selling miles and miles of beach. All right, so what we're going to do, we're going to jump into our article. In the meanwhile, remember, like this video, subscribe to this channel, I.S.U.P.K Jamaica. We are the Hebrew Israelites. You know what I mean? Yeah, man, and leave your comments or your questions. You understand? You know the thing go. So this residents fight to protect access to Bob Marley Beach. See? Let me continue reading. Kingston, Jamaica. Members of the public who enjoy Bob Marley Beach and fisher folks who make their livelihood there are reportedly in danger of losing access to the popular Bull Bay St. Andrew waterfront after adjoining land to the beach were sold to facilitate the construction of a hotel in the coastline. Attorney at law Dr. Marcus Goffey, who is representing the Jamaica Birthright Environment Movement, which is supporting families who reside on the land, says he has taken legal action to put a brakes on the development. Yes, I have filed a claim in the Supreme Court of Jamaica yesterday, and we are hoping to get a judge this morning to hear the case, to get a stop order, an injunction to prevent any demolition of any property and so forth. All right, so if you go to Bob Marley Beach, you will see where, you know what I mean, the residents down there, they have put in hard work, invested money. See? They have built structures, you know what I mean? Remember, these are not rich people, you know. You understand? These people were there from foundation. You know what I mean? They are the ones that named it Bob Marley Beach. You understand? And because of the name of the beach, the beach has been experienced a lot of tourist influx or foreigner influx. You understand? The surrounding community is Beach Road. You understand? Name after the beach because the road lead down to the beach. See? And now the government is starting to, you know what I mean, use the excuse of Beach Road being a crime place to now bring some kind of intimidation, which we're going to show you in our video shortly. You understand? But these people have spent money, you know what I mean, and they have been, you know what I mean, I wouldn't say reap success because they are still poor people. You understand? But I guess the government see, or the so-called government see the potential of Bob Marley Beach, especially with the name that it has, and now they want to steal the beach and hand it over to some developer. See? But what we are going to show you too, you know what I mean? Unless we come back to our nationality and understand who we are as the children of Israel, you know what I mean? Our fight here in Jamaica is futile. See? Firstly, we have to understand that, well, we were brought over here in chains. We were brought over here to be upstanding citizens. Hence the reason why they push us back in the garrison. You understand? And cut us off from beaches, sell out the resources of the country. There are no factories building, you know what I mean, being built here in Jamaica. You know what I mean? Any kind of employment you get here in Jamaica is some kind of employment of servitude to another nation. Whether it be call center, you know what I mean? The businesses here in Jamaica usually run by foreigners, never the local Jamaicans. Few of them owned by the locals here in Jamaica. You understand? Why? Because guess what? You are not meant to be upstanding citizens. You were brought over here as slaves, and slaves is what they expect you to remain as. And remember, after slavery, a thing called, you know what I mean, in America, them call it sharecropping took place. Similar to that, similar something like that was here in Jamaica. See, in America, them call it sharecropping. So, after emancipation, we were so-called freed, but weren't given any land. See? So what happened was, in order for us to earn our bread, we had to work on the land of the farmers, slave owners, who, by the way, was compensated £20 million in reparation for letting us go as slaves. So they were compensated, you understand, for freeing their slaves. Meanwhile, the slaves weren't compensated for being enslaved. You understand? What happened was we had to work back these sugar plantations to make our bread, minimum wage. Then minuscule wages. You understand? And that was how we, in many cases, earn our right to stay on some lands. Bear in mind, none of these lands belong to us, so we had to stay on oppressors' land. Some of us did not do sharecropping, you know what I mean, as they call it in America, which is the similar thing here in Jamaica. See, many of us ventured to other places and occupied other lands. You know what I mean? Lands like lands surrounding Bob Marley Beach. You know what I mean? Lands all across Jamaica. Automatically, we became squatters because we were still not the owners of these lands. These lands still belong to Britain, our slave master. So we automatically become squatters. Nobody gave us any resource. Nobody gave us a head start. Nobody said, here is some land. You know what I mean? Whatever we earn here in Jamaica, we had to fight very hard for it and work very hard for it. You understand? And they give us the impression as if Jamaica is this place that we are free, but in fact, we are not free. You know what I mean? The land here in Jamaica is owned by Britain. You understand? And they call it crown land. And at times, they try to separate crown land from government land. Come to find out they are one in the same. It's just convenience that would make them call one different from the other. For example, when they want to should be off our land, you know what I mean? If you have been occupying this land for, you know what I mean, for how many years, see, it will look away for the government to come should be off a government land. So them say, no, it's crown land. And in the books, crown land is not supposed to be sold or, you know what I mean, is what, 60 years before you can own the land. So now them call Bob Marley Beach crown land, or the land surrounding Bob Marley Beach crown land, so that them can have a, you know what I mean, a justification to get the residents off the land. But we're going to show you what crown lands are, so you understand that, you know what I mean. All these crown lands just means that, you know what I mean, Jamaica don't belong to the descendants of the slaves. It really belongs to Britain. And further proves that these political leaders, they are really representation of the monarchy over there in Britain. You know what I mean? They are not our leaders. They are not allowed to be our, well, leaders in the sense that they are not allowed to do anything positive for the children of Israel. But they answer to the monarch over there. So this is a capture land. Who own the land in Jamaica legally? Let me continue reading. Let me big up the screen so you can see what I go on. At the time of Christopher Columbus' arrival to Jamaica in 1494, the Taínos were the dominant inhabitants, right? So the Taínos were the original owners of Jamaica, which we know the story of the Taíno, which is our brothers, the Northern Kingdom. You understand? One of the tribes of the Northern Kingdom, the tribe of Ephraim. See? They were slaughtered by Christopher Columbus. Now you can't find any Taínos here in Jamaica. They're all dead. See? Let me continue reading. Soon thereafter, Jamaica was colonized by the Spaniards until the year 1655, when it was taken over by the British. Right, so now here comes England, defeating their brothers, the Spaniards, see, which all of them are oppressors. You know what I mean? Completely annihilate the real inhabitants of this land. You know what I mean? And now they occupy the land. And it is fair to call them squatters and capture land because they captured Jamaica. Let me continue reading. After the conquest of Jamaica, the ownership of every estate in the land vested in the crown. The crown invested British subjects to settle there and additionally extended the law of England to Jamaica. So it says after the conquest of Jamaica, the ownership of every estate in the land vested in the crown. So every land here in Jamaica belonged to the crown. See? Thus, the basis of land law in Jamaica is English. The case of Jacket versus Edward conclude that though Jamaica was initially a conquered colony, an express declaration was made that the common law of England was in force in the colony. As such, it is treated as a settled colony, right? A tenor and doctrine of feudalism which remain and is important to this discussion is sacage and seize, respectively. Sacage remain in Jamaica in the sense of tenant holding land of a superior lord. And that is your relationship between Britain. If you own land here in Jamaica legally, you are just a tenant in British land. And they are your landlord. Right? At the time of conquest, all land was vested in the crown, which was the superior lord, which result in the landlord and tenant situation. And that is where you get the landlord and tenant situation from. You understand? We all understand how landlord and tenantship go. Somebody who rent a 2-bedroom house is a tenant, and the person renting it out is the landlord. See? The English doctrine of seed was adopted, which is a root title, that the title of man raised prevailed over all who can show no better title. So, you know what I mean? So the real title is in the hand of Britain. You can't show no better title than the British royals. So if you even own land here in Jamaica, legally, you are not the real, you only have a copy of, you know what I mean, the real original title. You understand? But it is not a title of ownership. Instead, it is a title of possession. And that is what you need to understand. You understand? So in essence, we don't own any land here in Jamaica, whether we acquire it legally or we become so-called squatters, as they would like to call us. See? It just depends upon how much, you know what I mean, these political leaders or these servants of King Charles need the land. You understand? So it's a Crown Land overview. Crown Land is defined as, you know what I mean, of the Town and Country Planning Act of 1990 as land in which there is a crown interest or a duchy interest. Right. Crown interest is defined as either an interest belonging to Her Majesty, now His Majesty, in right of the crown or in right of her private estate. An interest belonging to a government department are held in trust of Her Majesty for the purpose of government department or such other interests as the Secretary of State specify. So now, you know what I mean? So these are the conditions. And the last one say, such other interests as the Secretary of State specify, meaning the government. When they specify that this is Crown land, it is no Crown land. You understand? So you might think that you capture a piece of land and, you know what I mean, well, this has been in your family for years. So, you know what I mean, you might as well call it your own. No, if these servants of King Charles, you understand, decide that, hey, this land is needed for some kind of investment, you know what I mean, or some development, Slovakia, then guess what? You have to leave that land regardless if you have it legally or illegally. It's no crown land because all of Jamaica is crown land. See? The requirement of environmental impact assessment apply to crown. The special provision that qualify the applicant, the application of the normal planning rules to crown land relates to additional permit development rights, urgent development, like the hotel where them a try, you know what I mean, build up right now. So that is considered urgent development. National security applications, talking about the fighting and enforcement of law, the fighting of crime and the enforcement of law, which we are going to show you how the police came with intimidation to intimidate the residents, you know what I mean, on Bob Marley Beach, you know what I mean. Of course, they are Rastafarians and they are not in the truth, but they are still the children of Israel. See, even though we don't promote Rastafarianism, that is the reason why we tell our people to come to the I.S.U.P.K, learn your history, your true history. Because guess what, go on, Rastafarianism now go save you out of this jeopardy. It just go continue to make this thing a reoccurrence. You understand? Knowing your true nationality outside of any religious, you know what I mean, establishment here in Jamaica, you know what I mean, is the real way out of this, coming back to your power, keeping the Most High's law, statutes, and commandment. You understand? Is the only way to escape the hands of these, you know what I mean, representatives of Britain. You understand? Let me continue reading. So it's a national security application. You know what I mean? Enforcement, tree enforcement. You understand? So there are certain criteria that will cause them to evict you off a certain land. You understand? And like me say them have a difference between government land and crown land, but in fact, it just depends on where how badly them need it. Them just call it crown land. And bear this in mind as well. Them depriving the poor of resources that, you know what I mean, that is beneficial to them. Talking about depriving the children of Israel of resources, you know what I mean, that we can sustain living off of. It only put us in a condition now that, you know what I mean, we have to become criminals to survive. See? We have to now become criminals to survive. You understand? And now that give them an excuse to now say, all right, they are fighting crime, so now you have to relocate or dislocate the people. You understand? Or displace the people. See? Because they are fighting crime. When in fact, they are creating crime by cutting the people off from proper resources. You understand? When you're looking at the garrison, there's no resource in garrisons. Resource don't exist. You know what I mean? In ghettos. You understand? There's no resource. All the resource here in Jamaica is owned by heathens. You know what I mean? For the most part, what we own. For the most part, we own, you know what I mean, a little farmland. Well, not completely own it, but run it. We can plant up some vegetation and thing, but not all of we are farmer. So, are you saying that all of we should become farmers? Not all of us are farmers. Zane, so we are the resource. It's definitely not in the garrison. Resource is definitely not in the garrison. So where will we find resource when you cut us off from resource? Then we will have to turn to crime. And that is the condition in the garrison where there's no resource. So now, them use this now for say, boy, them a fight crime for further cut us off from our rights. You understand? Use the same crime problem to cut us further off from our rights. And you're going to see in our video. You understand when we are going to share that them did do this.
Yeah, what the name of the operation?
Listen, no, just
Come on, I put him on the phone, make him talk.
You go public and then more have to make you get this facts. Yes, it's not public.
Yeah, this is our yard.
The beach is public.
You say about it.
Part they kind of
Then
wrong.
apart, they kind of get there. We don't understand what you say. Someone that want you explain for me. Look more.
As an intimidation tactic, but in the guise of saying that they are fighting crime. You understand? Yeah, man. So, we are going to jump to some scripture here now, still. Zin? And we are going to jump to the book of Ezekiel. And we are going to show you the most I say about our leaders. You understand? Remember to like this video, subscribe to this channel, and also leave your comments. So this is the book of Ezekiel chapter 34 and verse 1. And it says, and the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, verse 2, Son of man, prophesy against the shepherds of Israel. Prophesy and say unto them, thus saith the Lord God unto the shepherds, woe be to the shepherds of Israel that do feed themselves. Should not the shepherd feed the flock? And that is where you see her going in a Bob Marley beach. You know what I mean? These representative of King Charles, saying them feed themselves. You know what I mean? Them sell out this island, which is not our homeland to begin with, which are not free, and saying them sell it out to the oppressor. You understand? And other investors, and fatten themselves at the expense of the poor, at the expense of the flock that them claim to lead, or to claim to be leaders of, which we know they are not our leaders because they don't serve our interests. See, let me continue reading verse 3. Ye eat the fat, and ye clothe you with the wool. Ye kill them that are fed, but ye feed not the flock. And that is what you see happening. Them feed themselves and feed not the flock, and them kill the fat. You know what I mean? Them kill them that are fed. You know what I mean? So if you find any kind of, you know what I mean, any land or anything that is profitable towards the government, and you start make a living or fight, then the government does easily displace you because no, them see the benefit of it. You know what I mean? Regardless of how hard you work to develop the land. You know what I mean? Them don't care about your vested interest in that land, and you know what I mean, how hard you have to work to bring it to where it is. Them just get you off of the land. You know what I mean? To feed themselves. Let me continue reading. Verse 4. The disease have ye not strengthened, neither have you healed that which was sick, neither have ye bound up that which was broken, neither have ye brought again that which was driven away. See, let me continue reading. Neither have you sought that which was lost, but with force and with cruelty have ye ruled them. You know what I mean? And this is our so-called leaders, the representatives of Britain. You know what I mean? They have not healed the sick. You know what I mean? They have not healed the broken here in Jamaica. In other words, they have not done anything that is beneficial and to the help of the poor people here in Jamaica, of the children of Israel. When have you ever heard that these politicians have ever done anything good? That for the long run end up become something tangible. You know what I mean? Some people might say, well, this politician back then, and rare. Well, them have to do them thing there, to develop them island. But it's not necessarily to develop you. You are just the slaves here. Your hard labor help to run this engine, keep this thing alive. But we are the development for your people. You understand? For the most part, 90% of us are in the garrison. Clearly, there's no development. You understand? They have not went to find them that are lost, talking about the brothers who turn to crime because, you know what I mean, them not have no other option because the garrison have much option and resource. You know what I mean? And education, you know what I mean, for the most part, is not the option for everybody. See? So, them not rehabilitate those brothers. For the most part, them send them to jail and, you know what I mean, in a graveyard. That's what they do. Them not help us, the people, the children of Israel. Them not heal us. Them not bring us back from, you know what I mean, from being lost. They don't give us our identity back. All them do, them just fight we, push us off lands, bulldoze down our houses. That is what them do. See? Let me continue reading verse 5. And they were scattered because there is no shepherd. and they became meat to all the beasts of the field when they were scattered. So we were scattered because our shepherds, them, you know what I mean, were cruel to us. We had no proper shepherd. Andrew Holness is not a shepherd. Mark Golden is not a shepherd of the children of Israel. See? And we became meat for every beast of the field. What are the beasts of the field? The other nations. So they come to Jamaica and them set up shop. The Chinese set up shop in Jamaica and make himself rich. You understand? All nations come here and make themselves rich and prosperous after us. But who do we sell to? If it wasn't for these beaches, tourists don't come and give us anything. Other nations don't give us anything back. But our government, our so-called government, take that away from us. What are we left with? We are left with our poverty. You know what I mean? We are left with our poor living conditions. You understand? Meanwhile, others feed themselves after us or feed on our flesh. You understand? See? Verse 6. My sheep wander through all the mountains and upon all high hills. Yea, my flock was scattered upon all the face of the earth, and none did search or seek for them. You understand? Seek after them, Salakia. So we are scattered among all, you know what I mean, hills, talking about governments and philosophies and them thing there. Mountains, talking about government, hills, you know what I mean, refer to other belief systems and all them thing there. Government, school of thought. That's why we tell you, say, yo, voting now go help you. Whether you vote for the PMP or you vote for the JLP, it's not going to help. You know what I mean? They none of them have your best interest in heart. No care the philosophy where you believe here in Jamaica. That will not get your people out of the situation. That's why it's important to you come back to the laws, statutes, and commandments in this Bible. Rastafariism now go save you. You know what I mean? You have been Rasta here in Jamaica for so long. Zane and Selassie never come to your help. You know what I mean? What has the Rasta community have garnered? What strength have they garnered here in Jamaica? What organized front have they garnered here in Jamaica that can save you from losing Bob Marley Beach? There's none. You understand? It's more talk than anything else. That's why we implore you to come to the I.S.U.P.K. You understand? Learn your history and understand the plot that is against you fully, because no for you might know, say, boy, yeah, the government, they are not with you. You might know that, you know what I mean, the oppressor, you know what I mean, is against you. But you don't know the real, you know what I mean, things that are at work. Only here in the I.S.U.P.K and the command in general, Your Honor, you get a full scope of what is taking place and how to prevent it. And part of that involve you coming back to these laws, statutes, and commandments. You need your power, which is the Most High, to be on your side again. And that involve you coming back to his laws and his statutes and commandments. You understand? And with that, remember to like this video, subscribe to this channel, leave your comments. You know what I mean? Share on all social media platforms. Shalom. Shalom, sis. My name is Officer Kayal, one out of I.S.U.P.K Jamaica. Can I know your name?
My name is S3.
S3. Alright, so I have a couple questions for you. Alright, seeing that the government, you know what I mean, is known for stealing lands from the poor here in Jamaica. You know what I mean? Bob Marley Beach being one scenario. What do you think spiritually is the cause of this? As you know what I mean?
Spiritually, I would say it's greed. Or they don't like to see people with the things that makes them happy, and so they come, they see that people are enjoying this, and so they don't like the fact that it's free, it's available to the people, and so they come, they see it, they want it, they take it away, and so I would say it's greed. They don't want the happiness to be free to all the people spiritually.
Alright, so you know what I mean, what do you think would be a solution for our people? Because this happened to black people, you know, all the while. We are the native, so-called, well, not necessarily the original natives of the land, but we were brought over here. You know what I mean? What do you think would be a solution? You know what I what I mean, for this always
The
happening.
solution will always be unity and communication.
Okay.
I mean, there are always going to be bigger heads that want to come and take it away because of greed. But I think if people can unite and come together and just have a good, clear communication, then that could solve, or that could be the solution to the problems that they're facing now. Just a good communicating platform would allow that.
Alright, so my next question would be now, you know what I mean, who do you think we, the descendants of the slaves here in Jamaica, who do you think we are as a people? You know what I mean?
Right now, who we are as a people?
Well, not being that we are now Jamaicans, but we know that we did not originate from Jamaica, see? So, who were we before we became Jamaicans?
We are African descendants. That's what I was taught, that we were descendants of Africans. Yes, we were all taught that. So, what was the question again?
Yeah, who do you think we are as a people?
Right.
Because African is really a continent, you know, and people in Africa, you know what I mean, they don't necessarily call themselves, you know what I mean, the big blanket African, you know what I mean. Yeah, somebody would be a Nigerian, he would be familiar with the tribe that he belongs to, you know what I mean. Their history were not cut off during slavery because, you know what I mean, they had always been free. See, we know we were cut off during slavery. See, so now we know which people we belong to. So I think
that has to do with studying and gaining knowledge. And I myself.
So basically you just say no, you don't really know.
I wouldn't say I don't know, but I need to research more for me to be specific, because I don't want to say something and then it's being offended by other people.
No, you're not offend nobody, you know. It's just like you say what you know, you can't offend nobody by saying.
Like I said, I need to gain more knowledge and do more research for me to speak on this topic that you had asked me about.
Okay, so you're now going to give your opinion on who you think your people is.
My people, I would say my people are mixed racial people. Like they could be Africans, they could be Indians. My family is a mixed type of family where some came from India, some are born in Jamaica, some came from India, and so I'm a mixed.
Oh, so your family
are from all over.
A lot of. So your father's side, because alright.
My father, I would say my father is born in Jamaica. He's a black man.
A black man.
Yes.
Alright. So now we are talking about your father now. See.
Yes.
So who do you say your father people are?
I would say my father people are Africans, black. They're descendants of Africans, but they're born in Jamaica, so they're Jamaicans.
Alright. So you know what I mean. You notice our thing just blanket African. You know what I mean? It don't really go further than you're just African, you know what I mean?
Like I said, that's why I say it all goes back to doing your research and doing knowledge and gaining your own knowledge and gaining your own thoughts and opinions on things like this.
Alright, so we'll end the interview here. Thanks for your question, for your answers, and you know what I mean? Shalom, sis. Alright, so Shalom, this is I.S.U.P.K. Jamaica. My name is Officer Kayad One, you know what I mean? And if you don't mind, can I know your name?
Yeah. My name is Alubala.
Alubala. Yeah. Alright, so we just have a couple questions because you know about the situation where the government is trying to steal the land from the residents here. See? Spiritually, what do you think is the cause that this always happens to our people?
My brother, this is a political thing.
Okay.
Where you find that from 1962, when we got this so-called freedom,
right,
the platform was not set for the peasants, the workers on the plantation.
Yeah.
There was no benefit, there was no land, there was no education, there was no plan for a structural development for these people. And what is happening now is that the plantocracy continues, though the white planters are not here.
Right.
But those people in the political arena who have taken responsibility for the leadership of these our black people, they have basically stolen from us freedom and working in the essence of the masters and working with the masters too, because I notice succeeding administration, but I notice this administration keenly as it relates to land and the beaches that the Jamaican people should have access to.
Right. Right.
I noticed that these people are literally selling the land and the sea, the beaches, to the hotel developers all around the country. And we thought when we were fighting for the Winifred Beach, we thought the fight would have been for all the beaches. And we see several fights.
The Winifred Beach.
Yes, important.
Elaborate on that, just, you know what I mean? Sure, you know what I mean? Just give a brief elaboration on that.
Well, it's the same story.
Yeah.
The people develop the beach and they're there doing them fishing and them things. And the government decides they're going to go and take it.
So it's not the first it's happened.
So it's not the first, it's not the second, it's not the third.
Right.
When the developers come in, the government sell them the land and sell them the beach as well. So you won't have access to the beach.
Right.
So the recreational space that the ordinary person who have their issues and who come to recreate and to get rid of their problems and stresses, they don't have access to the beaches, which is part of our inalienable right.
Alright, so what do you think would be the solution?
The solution is the unification of the Jamaican African people who believe that they came on here to fight for land, to fight for politics and religion. I must be fighting for reparation and repatriation. That is our objective. That is our key goal. That is not, we are not here to fight for politics nor religion, which we are now doing. And we are consumed by that. We need a revolution in our thinking. And a unification among ourselves.
Alright, so who do you think the people that were brought to this island in chains are?
Well, the people who came here are descendants from Africa. Mostly from the western side of Africa, because that's where the transatlantic slave trade was going on between the west coast of Africa, Ghana, and those places.
Alright, so we know that Africa is a continent, but specifically, can you can put a name for say boy, them people are the such and such people. You know what I mean? Would you be able to?
Well, as I tell you, we were tribal people when we were living in our homeland. We were considered tribal people, like the Igbos and the Tutsi and those persons. So I would not know exactly which tribe I am from.
Alright.
What I can say is that I know that I am an African.